Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Very first video of the year.
Oh,
Are y'all excited? Are you excited? I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Lots of good things coming. New year, new hoes. Cut that out. New year, new opportunities. Guess how many books?
Swear to God, that was a cherry.
What was I gonna say?
Una mentira.
Can you guess the topic of this video, Nelly?
I'm gonna take a lucky guess and say witchcraft.
Is it because I said it 10 times on the live?
No.
Also, I need a haircut. Look how these people have me. Shouldn't they be taking care of me and maintaining me? Damn.
Thank you so much for all the support and for coming and joining us in this new year. Hope to hit 200K this year so that Monica
Hope
can do
to
the
hit
Ouija
a
board.
million this year.
A milli.
Okay, anyways, I just want to say thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all of your support throughout the years. I was looking at a screenshot the other day that's on my Instagram of how I started, I believe, 2019. I had like 400 subscribers, and now we're at 156,000.
Damn.
That's a lot of people. Imagine 156,000 people in a room, like, watching us.
That's actually insane.
What the fuck is that demon?
Chismosa.
Let's get started. This one is called Scary Moments. Hi, Monica. My name is Leslie. I'm from Carson, California.
Hi, Leslie.
Get the fuck out, weirdo! Anyways, I've been watching your channel since the pandemic. Okay, so here's part one when a family member accidentally did brujeria on me. I don't want to say my mom or dad's side, but this was back in 2014. I bet it was dad's side. I was a very rebellious teenager.
Estoy segura que eres emo. Eres emo.
I was always lying to my parents and ditching school. We were invited to a family member's house for a comida during the winter. We believe that a tia has done brujeria on my tío to stay with him. She's a very envious person, always has something negative to say about everyone and preys on people's downfall. Well, anyways, she fixed my dad a plate, but I ended up eating it. Fast forward some days, I started getting really sick, like I had pus in my tonsils. I was throwing up viciously. I had horrible headaches. I was walking around with no energy in me. Doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me until my mom figured out someone did brujeria on me. She went to a friend of a friend and told my mom to take a picture of me. I have to wear no dark colors. She read me with just a picture of me and saw my tia de brujeria that was meant for my dad. Oh my God.
That's so scary.
I had to do cleanses for a month, but we don't go over to that side of the family anymore. What the fuck? Oh,
What the
hell no.
heck?
What did she want with your dad? Why was
For real?
Why they have beef?
She did not like your dad. What did your dad do?
For real. Blame the man always, guys.
No, I'm just kidding. That's actually really scary. That's sad. Just like her mama. I think that was Joe.
I think that was John Pork. Beefing with my chico. I'm in jail.
So stupid.
Thank you for that story. I appreciate it. Have you ever had food offered to you that you think was desuri de brujeria on you?
To be honest, no. I've never accepted food from anybody that didn't like me.
Oh, wow. So you didn't even notice a change in your life whenever I make food?
Oh my God. No wonder my ass is so fat. I'm just kidding.
Next story. This is called The Gift of Seeing the Dead. Hi, Monica, and everyone else that could be reading the story, especially Nelly, you a baddie.
Hey, thank you.
And Monica, too, is a baddie. Sexy ass Monica. Aw, thank you. Anyways, my name is Divinity. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a cute name.
I love your videos. I've been watching for years and I hope you never stop. Okay, to start off, ever since I was a kid, I've been able to see things that no one else can. For example, my grandma told me when I was maybe 5, I was playing outside. I then walked up to her and said, "Do you believe in ghosts? You have them in your basement." Hell no, I'll give that kid away.
no.
I'm not gonna lie. Take you to the firefighters.
Low key.
Then I just giggled and ran away. That made it so much
That's-
worse. What the fuck? Another time that I remember so clearly, my dad brought me to a cookout with his family. I remember sitting at the table outside, and I seen a little girl, maybe my age, in the window waving at me. I waved back, smiling, and I asked my dad, "Can I go inside and play with her?" Apparently, when my dad looked in the window, there was no one there, but the blinds were moving. I seen this girl clearly, and I kept asking, and my dad asked his friend if I can go inside and play with their daughter. That's when his friend said, "They don't have a daughter, and no one is inside."
Ew.
I looked back at the window, and the little girl was gone. Later on, they were cleaning out the shed they had because of the previous owners left everything in there. What they found was a full box of little girl toys. Being so young then, I was too clueless. Now that I'm way older now and reflect back, I realize how creepy it really is. From there on, my experiences with the dead will only continue to get worse. To make a long story short, my grandma got custody of me and moved to her hometown, Cortez, Colorado, right on the Ute Mountain Res. My grandma told me her side of the family were all native witches, but the good ones, and her dad was the medicine man of our tribe and how it runs in our blood. She warned me about S-walkers and the goat man. I never believed any of it until I had my own experience when I was 9. We lived in a trailer park.
Does this play about us?
I had 2 dogs and I was letting them outside at 3 a.m. because my grandma was about to leave for her shift at the casino. Usually the dogs did their business and came back inside with no issues. However, that morning they kept barking and growling. I assumed it was a cat, but they kept barking even after I yelled for them to come back inside. We had a shed, and behind that shed was another trailer. Their fence was pressed up against our shed. They kept barking at that area, so I grabbed a flashlight and went outside. When I flashed my light to where they were barking, I seen an S-walker, or the goat man himself. I've never seen one before, but I'm very certain that was one. It had pale, thin skin. You can see the bones through it. It was hunched over on the fence. Its spine was poking through the skin. It had a face of a goat. The mouth was stretched open like the jaw was dislocated. The eyes were huge and dilated to the point they were glowing from the light. It just sat there screeching at me. I froze in fear and I called for my grandma. She came outside, looked over to the shed, and seen it too. She grabbed me and the dogs and told me to hurry up and get inside. It was an S-walker. In our culture, it's a bad sign to see one. It usually means you're in danger or someone else in your family is going to die. Same with the goat man. After that, I started having nightmares. In one room specifically, my grandma left early for work, and I'd still be asleep, but every time she left me alone in that room, I had horrible nightmares about the trailer. One where my cousins were coming to visit for the summer. My grandma told me to get my cousin for dinner. We had a long hallway that led to 2 rooms and a bathroom. I stood at the end of that hall and yelled for my cousin. I didn't get a response until I heard that loud screeching again. I froze in fear because that's the same screech sound I heard from the S-walker. I'd go into more detail with those dreams, but it would be too long. The bathroom next to that room, every time I was in there, someone knocked on the door. One time I was cleaning my dog, someone knocked, and I thought it was my auntie, so I said, "Come in." No response, so I said, "Hello?" And then I heard a little girl's voice mumble something and giggle. No one was home but me. My cousins who spent the summer there would tell me they had the same experience. My cousin was sleeping on the couch and her brother was on the floor. I was in my room. She told me she had her foot hanging off of the couch and she felt someone grab it and pull her. She said no one was there and the front door was open. She came into my room and slept with me. Another time I was home alone. I was in the living room and I heard something in the kitchen. Mind you, they're both connected. I thought it could have been my dog and he slipped because it sounded like his claws on the hardwood floor. But he was next to me, so I assumed it could have been a plastic bag that fell on the ground. So I got up, walked over. I see nothing, so I turned around to go back to the couch until I heard heavy footsteps come running up behind me. I ran and jumped on the couch and there was nothing there. We finally moved out of that place and I didn't have weird experiences like that for a while. Up until I was 14, I had gotten into things I should have never done. I messed with brujeria and devoted myself to La Santa Muerte. I opened my third eye and that's where I messed up. This is where my curse started. Sleep paralysis and shadow figures. I was sleeping on the couch. I woke up staring at the ceiling. I heard my cousin come out of her room and walk to the kitchen. I couldn't move. The room started smoking like there was a fire, and I started hyperventilating because I couldn't move. That's when a girl in a white dress with long black hair just leaned over me. She didn't have a face. It was just a black void. She didn't do anything. She just stared at me. Then my cousin woke me up, saying I started freaking out in my sleep, and for a moment, it seemed like I just stopped breathing. This girl I seen would only continue to get more ballsy with scaring me. I was alone one day. I went to the kitchen to get something to eat, and I looked over to the hallway to see a shadow figure run from the bathroom right into my room. I heard the footsteps so clearly, I freaked out, but I told myself, I can't be scared because that's what they want. Another time I was watching TV with my cousin. It was normal for me to see shadow figures lingering around. They didn't scare me because they didn't bother me. They were just curious and liked to watch. I seen that lady again standing in the corner of the room staring at me until she ran up and got into my face.
Oh, hell no.
My hair was blocking part of my vision, so her jumping like that only scared me a little bit, so I just jumped. My cousin freaked out and started asking me what happened, but I said nothing because I know if I told her she was gonna get scared. It became a regular thing for me to have sleep paralysis. I never seen anything, I just can't move. I'm almost 19 now. Shadow figures and sleep paralysis is a normal thing for me. It happens almost every other night. I can control it now. Before I just freak out and try to scream for help. Now I just lay there and tell myself to breathe deeply and focus on wiggling a finger or rolling over to my side, and I just snap out of it. I see shadow figures on a regular, depends on how haunted the place is, but they don't bother no one. They're mostly just curious and like to watch from a distance. They're friendly if you are, but if there's anyone out there that thinks, oh, I want to open my third eye and see crazy shit, don't, because I was that stupid and naive. And here I am. I can't sleep normally anymore. I sold the little part of my soul, and I'll forever be stuck in a sleeping trance. If you made it this far, thank you so much for reading. I have a lot more stories, but that would be endless. Thank you for getting my story out there. Let me know if you guys want any more. What the helly? Have you ever... Shut the hell up. Ambulances always looking for attention, bruh.
Once I was 7 years old, my
Have you ever asked to see something?
No.
You know Fabi's weird ass? Because the bed used to be by the window right here. The window where I seen the hand scratching. And Fabi, for some reason, would stick her hand on the window screen. And be like, touch my hand. And she would feel like a really, really cold hand, like press against hers.
What
on
the
window
fudge would she do that for?
She's crazy, I'm telling you.
What do I want to try it now?
Should we try it? You try it.
No! That's why you're supposed to do your research and make sure that you know what you're doing when you're getting into things like that. That's really scary and sad. And I wonder if there's anything that she could do to fix that.
Oh, you know what? The other day, did I tell you that I saw the curtain open? And this one when Robert was here. Robert's in Washington now in his new home with Fabi and Emrys. I thought it was Robert because Robert sometimes would pulls the curtain when he gets out of the room. The thing is, the curtain was open like that, like if somebody was doing that. He could only, move the bottom of it, but the top of it was like that and like against the door. Let's say, okay, look at this door. Like the curtain was like this. Yeah, like if somebody was like peeking through. And then I was staring at it for like a good minute. And then they let it go and it closed. And the thing is, I think Robert was inside of the room, if I remember correctly.
And even then, he couldn't even do that.
I know. Imagine Robert was standing up and like,
tall ass.
Oh hell no! Robert already looks like a human.
A human centipede.
Girl, what the hell? Nelly watched that movie when she was 7.
I did watch that movie.
Thank you so much for that story.
Thank you.
That-
I hope you're doing better.
Yeah, because
Please
that's really
look into
scary.
getting cleanses.
Alright, this one is called Suegra de Brujeria on My Son. This one is a wild ride. Very interesting. Sit down, put your listening caps on. I'm talking to you, pay attention. Look at my Pokemon card. It's worth $1.
Girl, lock in.
Oh, sorry. Hey Monica and everyone who might be with her. My name is Aileen. And I wanted to share my experience with how I found out my suegra de brujeria on my son. Her own grandchild, mind you. I want to apologize in advance because this might be a long story, but it is very worth it. Anyways, my husband, Juan, and his mom are from Michoacan, Mexico. My husband came to the US at the age of 2, so he never really grew up with the Michoacan culture the way his mom and the rest of his family did. His entire family speaks dialect, but since he grew up in the States, he was never really taught it. He understands a good bit of the language and can speak a very broken version of it. I'm also Mexican, but I'm from Veracruz, and I've never spoken dialect. Because of that, his family has always alienated us. Whenever we are around them, they tend to speak in dialect and exclude us from conversations. Truly, at any family event, we never feel welcomed, and because of that, we have distanced ourselves from them. His mother also rarely ever reaches out to us to spend time together. That wasn't until my husband and I had our firstborn, Christopher. After I had him, my suegra made more of an effort to come visit us, but we chalked it up to her wanting to be a grandmother since this was her first grandson out of the 5 granddaughters. Christopher is a newborn, and as he got older, was always a happy and social baby. He loved being carried, played with, and loved attention. Except when it came to my suegra.
That's crazy.
For some reason, Christopher would always cry, scream, and fuss whenever my suegra tried carrying him. As he grew into a toddler, he refused to get near her and would throw tantrums to get away from her. At the time, we didn't understand why, but my husband would always reassure his mother by telling her, he's just a baby, he'll grow out of it, to help her feel better. But Christopher never grew out of it. As the years went by, he grew into a very extroverted kid who loves making friends and is extremely friendly and outgoing to anyone he meets. But I noticed that every time my suegra came to visit, he would drop whatever he was doing, run to my side and hide behind me or hide in his room. This really bothered my husband. He would always call Christopher over to saludar a su abuela and tell him to give her a hug. Of course, Christopher would do it, but he always had fear on his face while doing so. It got to the point where one night, after she had left, I brought it up to my husband and told him, please don't force Christopher to hug your mom when she visits. He's clearly very uncomfortable. W mom, W mom.
W's in the chat.
But he would always say, no, that's his grandmother. He needs to learn to respect her. Never force your children to hug people they don't want to hug. That's going to confuse them on their boundaries.
Yes.
No means no. I have no kids. And that's just how our arguments always went. Fast forward to Christopher's 5th birthday. We threw him a small birthday party and invited everyone in his kindergarten class. Halfway through the party, my suegra arrived with snacks. Again, my husband forced Christopher to saludar his abuela. She handed me the Tupperware of snacks, and as I turned around to put them on the counter, I suddenly heard my suegra scream. When I ran back, she was on the floor crying and screaming, saying that Christopher had pushed her. When I ran back, she was on the floor crying and screaming, saying that Christopher had pushed her over. Since I had my back turned and gone into another room, I truly didn't see what happened. My husband became angry and began whipping Christopher. I yelled at him to stop, but all he said was, no, he needs to learn that what he did was wrong. All Christopher did was sit there and and cry. Aww. After that, the party was over and we sent everyone home. I gave Christopher some time to calm down, and then I went to his room and asked him why he had pushed his abuela. He stayed quiet for a few seconds, staring at his feet. Then he lifted his shirt and showed me fingernail-sized cuts on the side of his stomach. He said, "Mi abuela me lastimó." He explained that whenever my suegra hugged him, she would dig her fingernails into him, and that's why he pushed her off of him. I immediately became furious. I went to my husband, showed him the marks, and told him what Christopher explained. This led to a huge argument where he told me, "There's no way my mother would hurt our son. She loves him. Christopher must be lying. She would never do that."
That's what she wants you to think.
Mamitis.
Mamitis is free.
My husband just didn't want to believe it. Time goes on, and now it's Christopher's 6th birthday. Again, we threw him another party, and everything was going great until toward the end when my suegra showed up with a big gift box for Christopher. Once again, my husband made him hug her and thank her, but Christopher stayed silent and didn't move. Angrily, my husband said, "Since you don't want to be grateful, I'm going to take away all of your birthday presents until you learn to appreciate your abuelas." And he took everything away except his grandma's gift. The next morning, my husband opened my suegra's gift. It was a beautiful, huge blue teddy bear with a scarf. He said, "Look at how awesome this gift is, and you're still mean to your abuela." And then he put the bear in Christopher's room. And this is where it gets weird. As a mother, I know my son very well, and I can tell when he's not acting right. Around 1 to 2 in the morning, I heard Christopher softly crying and sniffling from my room. I went to check on him, and when I called out to him, he jumped out of bed and ran to hug me. He was crying, shaking, and couldn't even speak. I asked him what was wrong, if he was sick or if he needed to go to the hospital. But all he could do was point to the teddy bear between sobs and say, "It won't let me sleep. When I don't look at it, it moves." I tried telling him it was just a toy and let him sleep in our room. The next morning, I told my husband what had happened, and he just responded with, "Don't believe him. He's only acting this way because it's a gift from his abuela. Just leave it in his room. He'll get over it." I let it be because I didn't want to argue again, and I knew my suegra would be sad if she found out I got rid of it. As the days went by, I started noticing changes in Christopher. He became much sleepier, quieter, no longer the happy extroverted kid he usually was. Finally, I sat him down and told him I couldn't help him unless he spoke up for himself. That's when he told me that every time he tried to sleep, he couldn't move. He said that little kids would come out of the teddy bear to hurt him, laugh at him, and make fun of him until he cried. Then he showed me bruises all over his body and told me the kids from the teddy bear hurt him. That was my final straw. I felt like a terrible mother for letting it go on for so long. I grabbed the teddy bear and started inspecting it closely. Near the armpit of the teddy bear, tucked away, there was a tiny zipper that went down its side. The armpit, tickle tickle.
Get away from me! Stop!
I went to the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and made the hole big enough for my hand to fit inside. As I was cutting it open, my husband came from work. Immediately, he started asking what I was doing and telling me I was crazy for believing Christopher and that he was only acting this way because he didn't like his abuela.
Bro, he did brujeria on her own son. The fuck? Caldo de calzón.
Caldo de calzón, caldo de tanga, caldo de glacier, caldo de
Caldo
jockstrap.
de rabo. Just kidding, don't put that. Hurry!
I told him I didn't care. I knew something was wrong with that bear. When I reached inside, I felt something cold. I pulled it out, and it was something softball-sized wrapped in aluminum foil. The second I pulled it out, there was a horrible smell of a dead animal. Everything went silent. My husband and I just stared at each other. He took it from my hands and opened it. Inside was a dead frog with symbols carved into its stomach. There were also pictures of Christopher that we had never seen before. We believe my suegra took them off of her phone during visits. There was also hair, dirt, and pieces of cloth wrapped inside, and the smell was unbearable. My husband's face dropped. All the color drained from it, and he looked physically sick. All I could say was, I knew there was a reason Christopher always rejected your mom. Even then, my husband tried to defend her, saying there was no way she could have done this, and that there had to be another explanation. And that's when his phone rang. It's his mother calling. He answers and puts her on speaker, and she says, "Mijo, ¿por qué abriste celoso? Todo lo que hice era para protegerte de ella y de ese gran error que es Christopher." Bitch!
The fuck?
Te dije que no te quedaras con ella. Oh my god, I got chills. That's finally when it all clicked for my husband. We gathered everything, the teddy bear and anything else that belonged to my suegra, took it outside and burned it. I felt so bad for my husband. As we burned everything, he cried and kept saying, "I can't believe my mom would do this to us." Yeah, you should have believed your wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. I didn't mean to call you a bitch.
Period.
We cut off all ties with his mother. It's been 2 years since this happened and since we last saw her. She still tries to reach out to my husband, but he has her blocked everywhere. Sometimes I still fear she may try another way to get him back, but I trust God to protect our family. Anyways, that's my story. I'm sorry it was long, but I hope you enjoyed my trauma. I love you and your channel. I love you too. Oh my god. I'm so glad Christopher got away from that lady.
Yeah, I hope he's back to normal and he's that extroverted little boy again.
Que Dios me los bendiga. Que Dios te bendiga.
¿Qué pasa el desgraciado?
Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for those stories. I appreciate it. I hope you and your families are very blessed this year. I feel like even though with all this stupid and like ice, stupid ass ice, that Donald Trump's a bitch ass.
I hope all of you wore your red thongs on New Year's, and to all the baddies out here, I'd rather see you happy with 3 boyfriends than miserable with 1.
Exactly, period. And my hey mama's gays out there, 10 girlfriends, not 1, all right? Not 1.
Like...
And they're all baddies, okay?
Why do you sound scared saying that, bro?
Alrighty, I think that we should freestyle battle to start off the year. Alrighty, y'all ready?
Y'all are not f***ing ready for this shit.
What is this Glee?
I don't like that. You go first.
Beefing with my chick while I'm in jail. Oh. What's up? Okay. 2026. We're in a new year and you still got the same hair. Can I get something new, please? Can I get a haircut? Cause I have a lot of hair. Please, the hoes don't like this anymore. What the
Why you saying that you hey mamas? You more look like hey papas because
hey!
and you're not gay. You're DL. Like I always say, you like wiener. You look like Kim K if she was big. Hey.
Hey!
Bitch.
Funny you say DL. Look at your past boyfriends.
Look at your past girlfriends. Yeah, bitch. Fuck you.
Mine were DL straight, hers were DL gay. Oh well. It'd be like that.
We actually have that in common.
Oh.
Fucking bitch.
They were so bad.
What the hell was that?
Anyways, Happy New Year, guys. Wish you guys all the blessings of the world. Love you. Wait, how's the new heart?